Hi everyone. At the moment we have with us Emily Overton. So
Hi,
hi Emily. How are you? Everything
I'm all
fine?
right, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks. Well, what about you? Introduce yourself a bit to our audience and tell us what you want to say today.
Um, so the most hilarious thing is that most people don't actually know what my name is, even though I'm not secret about it. Most people think that my name is actually RMGirl.
Yeah,
Um, my name's actually Emily Overton, and RM Girl stands for Records Management Girl.
yeah,
Um, and so yeah, I created this nickname, like brand, in 2015. So the business is nearly 5 years old, purely because I was working for the public sector, and I was being asked to speak and give my opinion on records management. And I was just like, well, I work for the NHS or I work for the civil service. I can't really give my opinion because obviously they put your name on the agenda,
yeah.
um, as like Emily Overton from the civil service says this, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
um,
I get that from that point of view. It's always
um,
difficult to have the association. It's funny with the Twitter handles because, like, yeah, with you have your name obviously in your Twitter handle, but some people have just this, yeah, not their real name and this lead hexer handle, and it's like, hey, I'm following you. I don't know who you are. Yeah, it's good OPSEC, I think. But
yeah,
honestly, if
I go
you
to events and I feel like I should wear like a hat, like one of party hats that just has my Twitter handle on it. But I decided to
yeah.
dye my hair bright red, so now everyone just looks for the red beacon.
That's that's easy to recognize. That's a good one. Um, so I was curious. I think you're like you said. If I'm right, your background is not information security,
No, it's not. No, I've
and
given
and,
you a
and
really
I
difficult one to actually come take over from because obviously I'm not a natural infosec person.
no, but I think that's great. You know why? Because we need more people from other backgrounds. For instance, I'm a developer, so yeah, I know how to write code, and then going to infosec might be the more natural path or observed as a natural path. But I think it's very, yeah, very good to have people from other domains as well because they have insights how it's going there. I mean, they see real problems, and we're like the infosec people are often in this bubble, and we need to burst out of that. And I think it's good that we have from different expertise on different domains people that
Mm.
just can raise the real problems. Do you agree or?
Uh, uh, Definitely. The reason why I've kind of latched onto InfoSec and not left, or should I say, I've basically hung on to Jenny Radcliffe's boot and waiting for her to shake me off. Um, Basically, is that I it was a mistake accident. I got into InfoSec as an accident. I walked into a meeting room one day and I said, "Oh, well, I like your diagrams. It means this, 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 and this, and this." And they went, "You know what we're talking about. Come here, sit down." And
Yeah,
I was just like, my life has never been the same ever since.
yeah,
And all I was doing was literally translating some information risk heat maps. And I didn't know. It was like I think Stuart was just talking about it just now about unconscious, unconscious competence. That
yeah.
I didn't know that I knew the stuff that I knew. I just happened to regurgitate something or translate something on a board and go, oh, sounds quite good, that
Yeah,
does.
but this is exactly what I mean. These insights from people not always focused on the same. That's really, yeah, very word. Yeah, it's important. I mean, like I said, we all like our own bubble often. Mainly on
Well,
Twitter. Twitter, I see that, and people are like also really, yeah, purists, let's say. Sometimes it's not about the most secure solution. Of course you want the most secure solution, but you want a solution that works for
yeah.
people.
So I've been in records management for nearly 15 years. Um, And it's one of those things that I realized that I was just fundamentally a very sad person when someone asked me what my hobbies were, and I actually didn't have any other than records management. So I realized that I was one of very few people on Twitter talking about records management, because why would you? But when it came to InfoSec, it's a massive community that is just out there waiting to talk to you. And one of the reasons why I stuck around is because I'm interested in information security, because the stuff that you guys are trying to protect is the stuff that I'm looking after. So I'm interested in records.
Yep.
The reason why InfoSec exists is because you're trying to protect the records that I want to look after. So
absolutely.
if I can like learn some stuff from you guys so that I can improve the records management, then I'm on to win already.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm really happy to hear that, because one thing I try to do is raise awareness. I mean, about and end user awareness. I mean, and it's difficult, because people that need it most often don't know they need it most. So it's always this yeah. How do you reach them as well? So I think I repeat myself again, but I think coming from different business and then helping to spread that message, that's really powerful. So, and I think I agree with you. The InfoSec community is great. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge sharing, a lot of helping going on. So
I in May, I'm going to use the word retired because I love the word for some reason. I retired as vice chair of the Information and Records Management Society, which is, for me, is the professional society within the UK who looks at everything information governance. I came across several people that were kind of dipping into the RMS. So one of the very first talks that I saw that really struck a chord with me around information security was Stephen Bonner. And I mean, he did throw a Ferrero Rocher at my head, so I'm guessing that was a good start. He's famed for it, apparently. Yeah, is that I went, you're really interesting. I want to learn more about you. And it's only because people were kind of there's that Venn diagram of what I'm interested in, what you're interested in, and what the InfoSec community have in common with people who are interested in records management as a whole. So I started to realize, the stuff that he's talking about is really interesting. And then as I've gone on and seen data breaches that have happened, I mean, I got involved in data breaches. This is the whole part of the accident side of things, is that whilst I was in the civil service, I was part of a triangle team with the IT manager, who was the kind of like the InfoSec person, the data protection officer, and me as the records manager. And we all, between the three of us, we looked at every single possible issue. But I didn't know enough, and I needed to reach out to the InfoSec community to go, guys, I've got no idea what I'm talking about here. I could almost feel myself kind of going, but not actually saying anything of any use.
But yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're open to learn. You learn a lot. I mean, that's what it's about, and that's great to see. And one thing I always have the feeling is it's like when I hear your story, it's like it's actually you roll into InfoSec. It was the same with me. I mean, as a developer, it may be more logic that I need to implement secure solutions. It's part of the job, but take a step back. When I started at university, when I did university, security wasn't part of programming. Let's be honest. So it was only when I was years in my job that I so oh, we're going to the web. What you're talking about? Oh, you read about data breaches. You're thinking, how can I protect our own stuff? Things like that. So you really roll into it, and then it's yeah, you get bitten by it, or I don't know how to say it, and
it's one of those things there. Like when did you ever dream of being what you're doing, the job role you're doing right now? I don't think I know any records manager person that as a child, that's what they aspired to be.
I I don't know. It could be.
I know some people, like archivists, for example, that they went specifically to university to do archives, and that's where they got themselves, and that's what they wanted to be. I know that kind of thing, but I don't know about the chat in here. Is that if Stu's just saying he wanted to be a geography teacher?
Sounds plausible.
How'd that go, Stu? So yeah, I actually wanted to be a policewoman on horseback because I found fascination of riding at people on this big beast whilst they're drunk funny. Yeah, that didn't really work out. The police didn't really want me.
Yeah, but I think I didn't dream about an info security job when either. So I don't know. I always wanted to do something with computers from early on, but then again, infosec it's also sometimes a lonely job. I mean, you're the infosec, the security guy, and you have to bring bad news, and it's not always the best kind of circumstances, but still I love it. So it's this kind of strange, yeah, duality.
And Mr. Reboot is saying he wanted to be a spy or a fighter pilot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's not exactly the career that you kind of plan, I don't think.
Exactly. That's what I try to say. It goes like that. It seemed the logical next step for me.
As part of GDPR, we saw a mass intake of people that were data protection officers. I can't imagine being 10 in school going, do you know what? I want to be a data protection officer.
Make privacy sexy again. No, but it's also no fun job. It could be a great job, but the message you have to bring is often not fun. You're
well, you say that actually is that my tagline, my one dream that I started nearly like 15 years ago when I realized I quite liked records management was I wanted to make records management sexy.
Yeah, but that I think that's a good approach. I mean, and we
I've got a long way to go.
Yeah, but it's like that also for information security. A lot of people just think they think only about the negative side. You get security incidents, but it's not only that. You can improve a lot of things and can be rewarding. Even the smallest win can be rewarding. And if you don't celebrate the small win, yeah, it's probably not the job for you because it's not giant leaps. It's step by step improving stuff. So that's my opinion, at least in my experience. So.
There's guys in the chat right now basically saying that that I make records management sexy and that records management equals hot. And I'm like, you guys, you need a life.
True. They're just trolling us, or you at the moment. Maybe.
Yeah, they're trolling me. Yeah, definitely. There's sort of like David Alexander. I don't even know what records management is. Boy, I'm going to drop into your DMs shortly. So yeah, is that with my interest in kind of infosec, kind of like just to name drop a couple of people that I find fascinating, you know, sort of like I've already mentioned Jenny Radcliffe, Stephen Bonner, but also people like Becky Pinkard, Professor Danny. In fact, Professor Danny's actually invited me to speak to his students next year that are actually doing their cybersecurity university degree. And I'm going to go and talk to him about records management. I'm so excited. Just because I just think people need to know more about records management and the life cycle. Just so that they can see where InfoSec has power, because so I'm just going to do my selling pitch around records management. 3 main things about records management is knowing what you've got, why you've got it, and how long you need to keep it. And the whole thing with InfoSec is that if you don't know what you've got, what are you spending your money on protecting?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a lot of companies have assets they really don't know about, and the hackers, or not the hackers, the criminals, they they will find it easily via online tools, and that's really, if you think about it, how bad is that? But it's also understandable. There's a lot of, yeah, outdated systems. There's a lot of shadow IT. So what you say is yeah, so true. I mean, and then that goes beyond the tech companies. That's for every company. It's so easy nowadays to find all
There was
these
a data
assets.
breach recently in Europe. I believe it was it Germany? I think that they were caught out on excessive retention of data.
Yep.
And I was just like, yeah, records management is getting there. It's getting there. Come on, guys. But that is just it, is that you've got a data breach, and that data breach is records. That stuff that should have been managed was records management. So why aren't InfoSec and records management talking more together? Why aren't we holding hands a lot more? Steady on, Jenny. Yeah. Why aren't we why aren't people learning more about records management? Is it because it's still seen as filing? Is it still seen as the data that we don't have time to look at? It's
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. I think also infosec people should look more to non, yeah, always a lot of people are just, yeah, in their own bubble. They're always focusing on the same. They should learn from other types of businesses as well, not only tech companies, or and just see where, yeah, there are so many similarities we can learn from, and we can learn from mistakes from others or best practices from others. I think that's a very important lesson here to make. So yeah, totally agree.
Stu has just mentioned in the chat about if there's a porn for it, let's make records management sexy again. And I actually did do a blog post about porn and records management because I was trying to teach my housemate what I did for a job.
Okay, share it on here on or on Twitter, and
I will do. I'll reshare it. I wrote it ages ago, and it is definitely not safe for work. And read at your own.
okay, but it's Sunday, I guess.
It's Sunday,
it's
yeah,
okay
but
now for now.
just in case anyone's listening to this right now and thinks it's a great idea to read it on their work computer whilst I don't know, they might be listening to this as a as a podcast or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so Emily, we have a few minutes left. Maybe
it's gone so quick.
Yeah, too quick, too quick. But maybe just what did you learn, or what were the moments that made the most impression on you in 2019? What do you think will be the trends, or what do you see for 2020? More of the same, or do you
I think we're
expect
going to
something?
see more and more records management issues related to infosec. So whether that be data breaches or just not enough time and attention to the records, not knowing where stuff is. Like GDPR has been very slow. I mean, it's been 18 months of GDPR at least. I can't do math. I think it's 18.
Yes, it's
And
May 2000.
we still haven't seen any kind of teeth on any kind of actual fines. So maybe, hopefully, that will come. I say maybe, hopefully. I'm not hopeful at all because I don't have very much confidence in it at the minute. But hopefully that will come, and we will start seeing more and more attention drawn to records management. I mean, if anybody at the InfoSec events is looking for a records management speaker, I'm more than happy to go out there and talk about it. And yeah, again, if you have students as well, I'm happy to go and speak to them because I think people need to know about records management and the trends. Be ready for it before it actually happens, and don't be sat there going, actually, I don't know what records management is. So I'm getting distracted by the chat. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. I think it's about time to wrap up, and I want to thank you. It was very insightful to me. And
I don't feel like I've talked about anything of any interest.
you did. Obviously, you did.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate. I was listening last night and at 2:00 this morning, I've already sent a donation through.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome.
Say to everyone that, donate. I know, even if it's just £1, you never know, it might
exactly.
over 10,000.
And I don't know if the hour has passed by now, but Ray Redacted was also doubling the gifts the last hour, so it's awesome. So thanks a lot, Emily.
I'm afraid, but
no. So thanks a lot, and I hope to talk to you soon again.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.